Shooting a bit of video.
You see the friends?
Basically, our study shows that if we exceed 2 degrees Celsius of global warming, that is going to be very difficult for the bears in the southern and western Hudson Bay to survive because the fasting period is just going to get too long. And in many cases, it's going to start to exceed 180 days per year. And they're already fasting for 4 months out of the year, but to go another 2 months is going to really put a lot of stress on those animals.
I do suggest you keep as quiet as you possibly can because they seem to be very...
The ice is breaking up earlier than it used to, but it's also forming a lot later than it used to. And so the bears are definitely on shore for a longer period of time already. And even in the last several years, you've seen about half the population numbers that we saw, say 30 years ago. So they're already being quite impacted. This year is actually looking quite remarkable in that the eastern part of Hudson Bay is already ice-free. And it's the least amount of sea ice we've ever seen in Hudson Bay is happening right now in May. So it's already broken up in the east and partly in the south. There's still ice around Churchill, so the western Hudson Bay is still have ice covered, but the southern part, those bears are already having the ice broken up this year. Well, Hudson Bay is already a very unique region for the polar bears because they've already been forced to fast for at least 3 to 4 months every year. So they're quite unique compared to other regions of the Arctic where you don't really have that sort of big seasonal cycle in the ice cover where it's all gone in the summer. So they're already forced to fast. So they're very sensitive then to additional changes in that fasting period. But it gives us sort of a role model or sort of a good case study as to what's going to happen for the rest of the Arctic Ocean when you start to transition towards a seasonally ice-free Arctic Ocean, because these bears have already been doing that for quite some time. Well, sea ice is, of course, the primary platform for the bears to go out and hunt for seals, which is their primary food source. And so there's been a lot of discussion too, could they not just switch their food source to something else if they're stuck on land for a long time? The problem is that the fat content in the ring seals is really what they need. And if they were to try to hunt a caribou, for example, or eat birds, it doesn't give them the fat content that they really need to survive and reproduce.